Hello and welcome to CYC News for the 2nd of August 2020 and the 26th of Abib 17:36 am. I'm David Nada. In today's headlines, Trump sticks by unproven hydroxychloroquine, German officials very concerned by rising cases, Iran blasts dummy US aircraft carrier with missiles, Emirates covers COVID-19 medical and funeral costs, Hong Kong on the verge of large-scale outbreak, Stuart Broad and Chris Woakes inspire England to victory. But first, the United States, where President Donald Trump has again defended the use of hydroxychloroquine to ward off coronavirus, contradicting his own public health officials. He said the malaria medication was only rejected as a COVID-19 treatment because he had recommended its use. His remarks come after Twitter banned his eldest son for posting a clip promoting hydroxychloroquine. There is no evidence the drug can fight the virus, and regulators warn it may cause heart problems. Last Tuesday, the president told reporters at the White House, "I can only say that from my standpoint and based on a lot of reading and a lot of knowledge about it, I think it could have a very positive impact in the early stages. I don't think you lose anything by doing it, other than politically it doesn't seem too popular." Last month, the US Food and Drug Administration cautioned against using the drug to treat coronavirus patients, following reports of serious heart rhythm problems and other health issues. The FDA also revoked its emergency use authorization for the drug to treat COVID-19. The World Health Organization says there is currently no proof that it is effective as a treatment or prevents COVID-19. Studies commissioned by the WHO, the US National Institutes of Health, and other researchers around the world have found no evidence that hydroxychloroquine, when used with or without the antibiotic, as repeatedly recommended by President Trump, helps treat coronavirus. Hydroxychloroquine was first touted by Mr. Trump in March. 2 months later, he surprised journalists by saying he had begun taking the unproven medication to ward off the virus. Over to Germany now, where the head of the country's public health agency has said he is very concerned by rising infections in the country. Lothar Wieler, head of the Robert Koch Institute, said, "We don't know yet if this is the beginning of a second wave, but of course it could be. But I am optimistic that if we follow the hygiene rules, we can prevent it. It's up to us." Mr. Wieler said Germans had become negligent and urged people to wear masks and respect social distancing and hygiene rules. The warning comes as countries across Europe grapple with new infections and the problem of travellers moving across the continent for summer holidays. Last Tuesday, Germany issued a travel warning for 3 regions in Spain, Aragon, Catalonia and Navarra, which have seen a recent spike in infections. It comes after the UK imposed a 14-day quarantine on all arrivals from Spain. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez called unjust. Germany announced on Monday a program of free mandatory coronavirus testing for travellers returning from a list of high-risk countries. The list currently includes Brazil, Turkey and the US, and officials said it will be updated daily. At a press conference on Tuesday, Mr. Wieler asked people for the first time to wear a mask outdoors if they cannot maintain a physical distance of at least 1.5 meters. Previously, the guidance had been to wear masks indoors or in public. To Iran now, where the country has launched missiles at a mock-up of a US aircraft carrier in the strategic Strait of Hormuz. The drill included fire so heavy that the US military temporarily put 2 regional bases on alert. The US Navy condemned the irresponsible and reckless behavior by Iran, labeling it an attempt to intimidate and coerce. The exercise comes at a time of increased tension between Tehran and Washington in the Gulf waters. The drills, named Prophet Muhammad XIV, were broadcast on state television. Iran's Revolutionary Guards Commander Major General Hossein Salami said, "What was shown today in these exercises at the level of aerospace and naval forces was all offensive. The mock-up, which resembles a carrier the US routinely sails into the Gulf, is shown with dummy fighter jets on either side of its landing strip. Missiles are then launched from a variety of angles, including some aimed at the carrier. Another missile fired from a helicopter appears to hit the side of the fake warship. Ballistic missiles fire was detected and led to American troops being put on alert in the UAE and Qatar." Commander Rebecca Rabarich, spokeswoman for the US Navy's Bahrain-based 5th Fleet, said the US Navy conducts defensive exercises with our partners, promoting maritime security in support of freedom of navigation, whereas Iran conducts offensive exercises attempting to intimidate and coerce. Emirates has become the first airline to offer free COVID-19 insurance as it tries to get people flying again. Passengers will be covered for medical treatment, hotel quarantine, and even their funeral if they catch the coronavirus while traveling. The announcement comes as carriers around the world have been hit hard by measures to tackle the pandemic. Early in July, Emirates said it has cut as many jobs as 9,000. In a statement, Emirates Group Chairman Sheikh Ahmed bin Zayed Al Maktoum said, "We know people are yearning to fly as borders around the world gradually reopen, but they are seeking flexibility and insurances should something unforeseen happen during their travel." Emirates, the world's biggest long-haul carrier, said the offer is valid for 31 days from the start of a passenger's journey and will be available immediately and run until the end of October. The coverage is free to all customers regardless of class of travel or destination and is applied automatically with no need to register. The Dubai-based carrier said the insurance would cover medical expenses of up to €150,000. It will also pay for the cost of quarantining in a hotel for up to 2 weeks at €100 per day. In the event of a passenger's death due to COVID-19, the insurance cover will provide €1,500 toward the cost of the funeral. To some health news, and Hong Kong's hospital system could face collapse as it grapples with a sharp rise in coronavirus cases. The city's leader, Carrie Lam, has warned. She said the city was on the verge of a large-scale community outbreak and urged people to stay indoors. New regulations, including mandatory face masks and the closure of dine-in restaurants, kicked in on Wednesday. Hong Kong, which had early success against COVID-19, is now regularly reporting over 100 new daily cases. Less than a month ago, the average number of new daily cases was under 10. In a statement last Tuesday, Ms. Lam warned the city was on the verge of a large-scale community outbreak, which may lead to a collapse of our hospital system and cost lives, and especially of that of the elderly. She called on residents to adhere strictly to social distancing measures and stay at home as far as possible. Her remarks come as Hong Kong confirmed another 106 coronavirus cases on Tuesday and reported its 23rd overall death. A record 145 cases were recorded on Monday. From Wednesday, dining in restaurants is banned and only 2 people from different households can meet under the toughest rules Hong Kong has adopted so far. It also is now compulsory for face masks to be worn in all public places. It was earlier announced that spaces like bars, gyms and beauty parlours would be closed. At the start of the month, public gatherings of up to 50 people were allowed, but that has reduced to 4 and now 2. And in sport, Stuart Broad's 500th Test wicket sent England on the way to completing a series victory over West Indies on the final day of the third Test at Emirates Old Trafford. Broad had Craig Braithwaite LBW to become only the 4th place bowler and 2nd England player after James Anderson to reach the landmark, and would later take the final wicket to complete his third 10-wicket haul in Tests. Braithwaite was the first man to fall, West Indies having resumed on 10-2, chasing 399 over, more likely needing to bat out the day. Chris Woakes claimed that 5 of 50 as England dodged the showers to bowl West Indies out for 129, win by 269 runs and take the series 2-1. After being beaten in the first Test in Southampton, England have come from behind to win a 3-match series for the first time since 2008. They also regained the Wisden Trophy and the series in the 3rd World Test Championship behind India and Australia. In a congested schedule, an entirely separate England squad play 3 one-day internationals against Ireland in the next week before the first of 3 tests against Pakistan begins on August 5th. West Indies, so competitive for much of the tour, remain without a series victory in the UK since 1988 and have now been beaten on 7 consecutive trips to this country. And that's all for CYC News. A reminder that you can watch this news bulletin again throughout the week on YouTube. I'm David Nara, and from the CYC studios in Sydney, Australia. See you next time.